Palace are facing, though, a battle to keep their best players, with Eze and Guehi heavily linked with moves away. It promises to be a huge, then, couple of weeks for the Eagles until that transfer window shuts on September the 1st. This summer window is really, really hotting up. It's already been pretty exciting, and the Benjamin Šeško story finally seems to be coming to an end despite a number of bids from Newcastle, one of which was accepted. talkSPORT understands Šeško has chosen Manchester United instead. So I'm afraid to say it is yet another transfer target that Newcastle have missed out on. On the Transfer Insiders last night, talkSPORT's Rory Jennings had this to say about Newcastle. Have a listen.
A prodigious young centre-forward who has his pick of clubs has chosen Manchester United over Newcastle United. Like, in other news, water is wet. Of course he's chosen Manchester United. There isn't a world where anybody, given the option of Newcastle United and given the option of Manchester United, should choose Newcastle United. I don't really understand why it's a debate. The only thing, literally one metric that you could say choose Newcastle would be the fact that they're in the Champions League this year.
Do you not think that would be? I mean, evidently it's not in Benjamin Šeško's case, but do you not think that would be quite an important factor for a footballer, that they want to play in Europe's elite competition, and he won't be doing that if he chooses Manchester United, as we understand it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the Champions League could be a deciding characteristic if it were a toss-up between Manchester United not in the Champions League and Arsenal in the Champions League. Manchester United not in the Champions League, Liverpool in the Champions League. I think that could be enough to be a differentiator in those circumstances. But being offered the opportunity to play for Newcastle or Manchester United, you simply have to choose Manchester United.
Rory Jennings dropping the mic as he always does. Newcastle fans, you're more than entitled to react to that this morning. 81089 is the text number. The WhatsApp is 03717 223344, which you can also call us on if you want to have a chat about it. And Tony Cascarino will be with us shortly, so he'll have his thoughts on it, I'm sure, as well. So let's continue to talk about transfers this morning and cross over to someone in the know. It's talkSPORT's transfer correspondent, Ben Jacobs, who joins us this morning. Ben, how are you doing? Good morning.
Good morning, I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, really, really well, thank you. So yes, let's start with Benjamin Šeško, shall we? Because is it Newcastle? Is it Manchester United? It certainly seems now it is all about Old Trafford for him. So how close is this deal to getting done?
I think within the next few days, we're going to get an agreement in principle between Manchester United and Leipzig, and that will be for around 85 million euros. It's the structure of the deal that's being worked on. Manchester United sources said last night that some progress had been made. We're not there yet. We know that Leipzig are tough negotiators, but Newcastle have walked away. Šeško has already agreed terms with Manchester United, and that's important because now there's only one club at the table. It should be said that Newcastle had an offer accepted, so in theory, if this deal fell through, they could be back. But the point is that Šeško wants Manchester United. He's waiting for Manchester United, and Newcastle are exploring other targets. And all signs point towards Benjamin Šeško flying over to Manchester, doing his medical relatively soon. Just a bit of patience because we're not quite there yet on the club-to-club side. But as far as the player is concerned, he will be a new Manchester United player.
Okay, so Manchester United delivering for Ruben Amorim. You say that perhaps Newcastle looking at other targets. What does this all mean for Alexander Isak as well? Because obviously a lot of people are suggesting, well, if the Šeško one doesn't go through, it tends to suggest that maybe it means Isak is going to stay. But surely if Liverpool come in with a bigger offer, then it'll be inevitable that he leaves?
Yeah, I think from Liverpool's point of view, they're relaxed about the situation. They know timing is everything, so they're not inclined to bid currently because Newcastle is seeking either a replacement or more likely two. And then should that happen, there'll be the opportunity to move. Remember, in August, Liverpool and Newcastle play each other when we get to a week before the Premier League season. It's probably the only thing Eddie Howe is going to be asked about. Is Isak going to be in your match day squad? I think from Newcastle's point of view, we shouldn't read too much into the fact that yesterday Isak was training alone and at a different time to the rest of the squad. And of course, that is significant because you add up all these little things and it looks like an exit's on the cards. But by the same token, in Sol, Eddie Howe said no player can just instantly be reintegrated. So that was about Eddie Howe backing up his words with actions. And this will still be done on Newcastle United's terms. So Liverpool are waiting. I don't think the fact that Ben Benjamin Šeško is expected to go to Manchester United means that Isak to Liverpool is off. But what it does mean is more time might be needed as Newcastle seek a replacement. You've got Nicholas Jackson, possibly Ollie Watkins, Lois Openda, another Leipzig player, and Johan Wissa, and the latter's definitely pushing at the moment for a move to Newcastle United. So once we get a bit more movement in the market, there will come a time where I think Liverpool feel everything aligns, and this Alexander Isak saga is not over. It may feel inevitable. Liverpool fans may hope it's inevitable, and clearly there is going to be some more movement. And I think from Liverpool's point of view, if they get any encouragement from Newcastle United, they will up their bid. And then from there, a snowball of Isak to Liverpool could start.
Right, okay. And it does feel as though the inevitability of the Johan Wissa transfer, like you mentioned as well, when you consider there's no Callum Wilson now at Newcastle, they will need a second striker, whether that's with Isak, whether that's with somebody else, we will see. And there are also suggestions that if Isak does go to Liverpool, what does that mean for Darwin Nunez? And it looks as though he is closing in on a move to the Middle East.
Yeah, my understanding is Darwin Nunez will come to the training centre today and could say his goodbyes. Nunez has said yes to Al-Hilal on a wage of about £400,000 tax-free a week. It's going to be a 3-year contract. And now there is a verbal agreement in place between Liverpool and Al-Hilal for €53 million plus add-ons. So Liverpool's ballpark valuation has been met. It's quite an add-on heavy deal. And Nunez is expected to go to Saudi Arabia, having almost joined in January when Al-Hilal had a very competitive offer of €70 million. And Nunez was keen then. But Liverpool decided it was better to keep him with a view to helping them win their Premier League title. That happened, and now this summer, Nunez is surplus to requirements. And of course, with Luis Diaz going as well, Liverpool are going to need an attacker. So there's another knock-on and a feeling that maybe Alexander Isak and movement will happen a little bit more imminently than maybe it looked like last week. And from Nunez's point of view, the only thing we're really waiting on now is this done in a formal sense, to the point where after these goodbyes, he flies tonight or tomorrow to Germany, where Al-Hilal are based? Or will we actually still see Nunez be part of the Community Shield and then go after that game? And that part of the picture is still unclear. But I was told last night there is a fair chance that today for Nunez is less about training and more about goodbyes.
And Ben, in a World Cup year, there are a lot of players who are looking for an opportunity to play first-team football. Jack Grealish, perhaps one of those, because it does certainly seem as though he's unlikely to be utilised by Pep Guardiola, although things can change, especially if he doesn't get that move. But it does look as though there is another Premier League club interested in him.
Yeah, Everton are the club, and there's been a resumption of talks with a view to a loan. It's quite complicated due to the fact that Jack Grealish's wage is high, and Manchester City, as it stands, only want to sanction a loan if 100% of the wage is covered, as we revealed yesterday on talkSPORT, myself, along with chief football correspondent Alex Crook. So I think two things are going to happen here. Either Grealish is going to lower his demands, making it a bit easier for Everton, in which case I'm told he would be open to the move on the right terms, because believe it or not, frozen out at the moment at Manchester City in terms of opportunities. And yet Thomas Tuchel still really likes the player. So if he can get playing regularly, there still might be a way back and a pathway for him to be part of the 2026 World Cup. So the Grealish side is going to be vital to this, because he might make the deal a whole lot easier for Everton. And then from Manchester City's point of view, are they going to bend on the structure? Are they going to sanction a loan? Or are they going to hold out for not only 100% wage coverage on a loan, but also potentially the fact that another suitor might come in with some kind of permanent offer for Jack Grealish? And this is why I think this saga could drag on just a little bit, but it's Everton that are there at the table. They want to get the move done. Another just brief thing I would say, though, is that even though there's a lot of talk about Grealish and being able to play out wide, on the right-hand side, there's a very strong possibility Everton come back for Tyler Dibbling. They haven't walked away. Dibbling is training alone. He wants that move. So Everton are going to be busy, and it's not just a potential loan for Jack Grealish. The Tyler Dibbling saga, I'm told, is not over.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.